to my channel. My name is Yvonne. In this video, I briefly want to talk about sabotage, specifically shadow sabotage, when somebody is trying to sabotage you, but it's not directly in your face. And I'm going to use the African American community as an example. So, when somebody is trying to sabotage you, and they call you lazy, because this is something that African Americans have been called. They've been called lazy. And they call you lazy. And you work full-time. Maybe you have your own business. You work full-time. And you pay for everything, your life, your lifestyle. But somebody's calling you lazy. So what they're doing is they are talking to your support system. They are talking to the people who support you, or who they perceive as the people who will jump in when you have a problem. So when somebody say you're lazy, and they tell it, for example, to your parents, what they're saying is, if you lose your job, for example, or you lose your business and you have no money and you need a place to stay, they're telling your parents, don't help that person. That person deliberately did that to themselves. They are lazy. So they are basically cutting off any assistance that you may get from, for example, your parents. And that is what is happening with the African American community, is they are being labeled as lazy so as to cut off any assistance they may get from anybody who may decide to jump in, or basically their friends, their benefactors, anybody who may decide to jump in when they have an issue going on. Like, getting arrested for no reason, for just walking down the street. Anybody who would jump in to help, that help is being cut off by them being labeled lazy. So when you're having an issue of subtle sabotage, the way you fight that issue is you don't fight it directly, because this is subtle. Because if you fight it directly, you will look like the problem. So you have to look for other ways of fighting that particular accusation. Because coming out and saying, but we're not lazy, nobody's going to believe you. So this is a very covert sort of attack. And basically the African American community needs to look for covert ways of fighting this. Because of course you have to come out and say, dude, no, we are not lazy, based on our lifestyle. We work hard. But for this particular accusation like that, you do have to find other ways. It's not something you punch directly in the face. It's something you have to take it down, basically pull the rug from under the accusation, is what I'm saying over here. Subtle sabotage that is happening with the black community in America. And they do need to fight it in a different way. Also being accused of being criminals. Majority of African Americans are not criminals. So that's another issue, that they need to find other alternative ways of fighting that allegation, because clearly telling people we're not criminals has not worked out. They need to find other ways of demonstrating we're not criminals, and the people who have been convinced that they're criminals will conclude on their own.